everyone, thank you for tuning in. This time around it's going to be a subscriber's choice winner. You voted, and this time the winner was a huge blowout. And from the title, as you saw, it was Bvlgari Aqva Amara. Stay right there, it's coming up right now. Starting with the presentation, as we always do, I don't have the actual box with this one because this is a tester, but I'm going to have a picture of the box right next to me so you can see what it looks like. It's got that color, bronze copper color scheme, which is really cool. This one here that I have is a 100 ml tester, which actually came with a really nice stand. I don't think the actual full-fledged bottles with the full presentation come with this little stand, which I thought was really neat. This is readily available. You can find this fragrance at any of the discounters out there, and I would suggest you do that if you're looking to purchase this fragrance. Do not pay retail. I think the 100 ml goes for around anywhere from 80 to 90 bucks, so I would not pay retail prices for this fragrance. The testers like this one can be had for a little below $30, and the full presentation with box and all, you know, and cellophane wrap, you can have it around 35 bucks shipped. So like I said, I would get it discounted. I would not buy this retail. So the bottle has this really cool mirrored kind of finish to it. It's like the copper bronze color. It says Aqva Amara right here. As you turn, you have the sprayer, which is actually pretty nice distribution. And right over here, you have a sticker which has all the information plus your batch code. So that was the presentation for Bvlgari Aqva Amara. The year introduced for this fragrance is 2014, and the nose behind is Jack Cavalier. Now, Jack Cavalier has an amazing portfolio. If you look at the fragrances that this guy has released, I'm just going to name a couple of the fragrances just so you see how amazing this guy is. He has released YSL's M7, which still happens to be one of my all-time favorite fragrances. He also released another gem from Yves Saint Laurent called Opium for Men. He did both the EDP and the EDT. And he's now currently working for the private blend from the infamous house of Louis Vuitton. So check out on Fragrantica. This guy has an amazing portfolio. He is no slouch in the fragrance game. The classification of this fragrance says to be an aquatic / woodsy. I can see that. You do have the aquatic, citrusy, blast from the beginning, and then you slowly get this resinous, woodsy undertone, which I'll get to it in just a minute. As I get into the settings, the seasons, the ages, the best places to wear this fragrance, the notes are going to appear right next to me. So this fragrance to me is nothing but a casual fragrance. I would wear this fragrance casually with a jeans and t-shirt, fresh out of the shower. It's really great for the summertime. I would not wear this in the really cool months of the year, fall and winter, especially here in the East Coast. It gets really brisk. But I think for a real nice hot day, for a nice spring day, this fragrance will do very well. It's kind of simple. It's not a very complex scent, but I think that it would do perfectly as far as, a casual hanging out setting. It would be perfect. And I think age groups, I think 25 and up would do great. I think a high schooler wouldn't really appreciate the scent, and I'm going to get to it in a few minutes so you can understand where I'm coming from. One other thing I wanted to bring to your attention is that this fragrance is definitely unisex. It's got a real nice floral vibe to it that makes it very unisex. As a matter of fact, what I get from this fragrance, it's kind of like one of the Jardins from the House of Hermes, but not as natural, not as great quality as those fragrances. But I do get that from like Un Jardin sur le Nil, Un Jardin sur les Toits. It's got that kind of a vibe. Which gets me to my next point. What do I get from this scent? All right, so this scent opens bright, very citrusy. The citrus here could be a little bit off-putting because of the way it's mashed together. It's like a Sicilian mandarin that clashes a little bit with a leafy dry patchouli and some olibanum, which is very, a little bit resinous. And it might be a little bit headache-inducing. For me, it doesn't do great on my skin, this fragrance, really. Although it has a really nice aquatic floral taste to it, what they try to do with this fragrance, they wanted to give it a nice twist. So they incorporated the patchouli in here, which is really not a chocolatey or delectable kind of patchouli. It's more of a dry, leafy patchouli. And they incorporated the olibanum to give it a little bit of resinous to this aquatic scent. But needless to say, in my opinion, I think they were not very successful in making this fragrance tremendously appealing or universally appealing. Even though I think this is unisex, both men and women can rock this. I think a lot of people will have a hard time loving this scent just because it's a little bit more daring than your regular aquatic and citrus scent. Again, I think the combo of the saltiness and the aquatiness of this scent clashes without mashing really well together with the patchouli, the dry patchouli, the resinous orange here. I think, at least for me and my taste, I'd rather wear other citrusy aquatic scents out there that I would get a lot more compliments and I think would do much better with my environment and on my skin. But it's not a horrible scent, and we'll get to that in a second once we talk about the rating. But all in all, I think it's like they try to do something really unique by taking citrus aquatic and giving it a nice resinous, woodsy, almost oriental kind of nuanced background to it. But performance is not there as far as like longevity goes and all that stuff, which we'll get to in a minute. And also the scent itself, it's not very universally appealing. Like I said, a lot of people will probably gravitate more towards the other Bvlgari Aqva, Bvlgari Aquamarine, the other flankers or the earlier editions from this brand. So the bottom line, what I get from this fragrance, it is a citrus aquatic to begin with that has this dry patchouli, bitter, sharp kind of nuance with a little woodsy undertone. That it's, again, not extremely appealing or inviting to me. As a matter of fact, when it comes to my taste, this fragrance actually gives me a little bit of a headache. So it's a fragrance that I try to wear, but really didn't agree with my body chemistry. Let's get into the rating. When it comes to packaging, now this time around I'm changing my rating a little bit. I'm gonna do the rating from now on into 4 parts, and then I'm gonna give it an average. And then I'll get to it in a second after I finish rating this fragrance. I'll tell you exactly the 5 tiers that a fragrance could fall on and which one that this fragrance actually fell on. So starting with packaging and presentation, the box looks pretty cool. As you saw, I don't have the box because it's a tester. The bottle's pretty cool. It's got that, really different from other bottles out there. I like the color, the shape. All in all, I think it's a 6.5 presentation. It's not groundbreaking or amazing, but it's a pretty cool bottle. The scent itself, the uniqueness of the scent, and how much I like the scent, again, it's a little bit headachy. It's a little bit headache-inducing to me. Didn't really agree with my body chem. I didn't really like the components and how they clash or mash together. So scent alone, I'm gonna give this a 6.5. It's middle of the road. It's not amazing. It's not groundbreaking, but it's tolerable and it's decent. Let's talk about performance. So performance are divided into 3 categories. You have your projection, your longevity, and your sillage. And all 3 are pretty okay. When it comes to projection, I got 1 to maybe 1.5 hours. Longevity, very average or below average, about 5 to 6 hours. Wasn't really getting much notices, and the sillage was pretty poor as well. So I gotta give it a 5.5, maybe 6. Again, very middle of the road, nothing groundbreaking here, unfortunately. Versatility, I'll give this a 6.5, 7. Why? Because number 1, even though it's more casual in summer, to me, I think other people can really get away with this fragrance, wearing it more often, especially in the warmer days of the year. And I think women can also pull this off pretty nice, again, because of the floral. There's jasmine in here. Again, it could be very appealing to some. It just didn't agree with my taste. But I'll give this a 6.5, 7 for versatility. Final rate for this fragrance, I will give this fragrance a 6.5, 7. It's, a little bit above an average. I think 5, again, I'm gonna talk about my new rating system. I'm gonna divide it into 5 tiers. I'm just gonna look here just so I can show you what my thought process is. Anything that's from a 5 to a 6, it's very average and probably a pass to me. This fragrance is between a 6.5 and a 7. It's a good scent. It's definitely worth trying. You may love it. 6.5 to 8 is a great scent. An 8.5 to a 9 is an amazing must-have scent, something that you will really appreciate, in my opinion. And a 9.5 to a 10 is a masterpiece. So the final rate for Aqva Amara to me is a 6.5, 7. So it falls under that. A good scent, definitely worth checking out. Not groundbreaking, not amazing, but you may love it. 3 words to summarize Aqva Amara. It's exotic, it's unique, and it's androgynous. Definitely worth checking out. You may find something that you really enjoy, especially for the price. You can really find this at bargain, at fragrance discounters. Like I said, you'd be paying $25 to $30. Nothing to really sweat at. You might love it. So everyone, that was my take on Aqva Amara by the House of Bvlgari. Hope you enjoyed. Please, if you have smelled, if you own this fragrance, drop your comment below. Let me know what your thoughts are on this fragrance. I'd love to read them. And stay tuned for a lot more. Subscribe if you haven't so you can get straight feeds into your email whenever I post new videos, which I do very often. I hope to see you here again. This was Max Forte. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.